friends, Dom Carolla here, and I just want to give you an update on My Neighbor. One of the things I wanted to do with My Neighbor was really tell a universal story, something that anybody can understand, a global audience can totally get, didn't matter where you were from. Everybody has a neighbor. It's not just the neighbor next door. Sometimes it could be the person that's just in need. And it's challenging. The world is a challenging place. Can we put something out there that's impactful and purposeful and humor, but also have a lot of heart? So I thought if we can tell the story through, maybe it's not told through people per se, but we tell it through the lens of birds in the backyard. And by doing that, let's remove dialogue. I mean, that's the beauty, that's the strength of animation, it's the strength of visual storytelling. Let's just tell this through bird speak and sell it with gestural. Some of you who know me know that I absolutely love to draw, and I love children's books, and we do a lot of them, as well as animation, of course. So My Neighbor started as a children's book, and as we were going in there and laying it out, some of those poses and some of the thumbnailing, which I'm going to show you, really was the beginning of the animatic for the animated version of My Neighbor. So there'll be some subtle differences between the book, which comes out later this year, and the animated project, but for the most part, we really were doing both almost at the same time. So I just want to walk you through that process, and some of you it's very familiar, but it's always nice to see what is the origin of a project, and that's what we want to do. Okay, let's take a look at some rough little scribbly thumbnails. These little thumbnail sketches just represent Carl just building up the momentum of him trying to jump out of his little tree house. And again, you can see these little numbers down here indicating just a suggestion of what that timing might be. What I did was take these thumbnails into the animatics, and I'll show you in a minute. The animatics were much larger, but I begin to get a sense of timing. These little arrows also, that's kind of just me thinking about motion. It's like, oh, okay, his body, all that inertia is coming down. These little arrows are indicating that. I'm trying to write down little thoughts, and because if you don't write them down, you're going to forget them, and they could be some fun little things that you thought about when you were thumbnailing, but it disappears if you don't jot them down. At least for me it does. So even here again, you see these little arrows, that's his up and down. You see these little timings I'm thinking of. But even this little note here, I said 3x to rotate. Basically what I'm saying there is that maybe it's 3 motions, but in order to get his body turned, so it's like 1, 2, 3, and able to move his body. So those are just little funny bits, I think, that as you're thumbnailing, you may or may not keep them, or when it goes into animation, it might adjust, but it's always good to jot down your ideas. And this is one of those areas where we do a bunch of multiples, where suddenly Carl goes from struggling to move to he can move like lightning when it's for food. And again, in animation, we might do some adjustments, and Justin has some ideas on that as well. Down here again, you can see I'm indicating some squash and stretch even when he turns back around. So it took him a bit to turn towards the seeds. Well, it takes him just as much effort to turn away from the seeds. So even after little Misty has a little movement, she's got 3 little hops because she sees there's one more seed that Carl left, and boom, out of nowhere, Carl just crashes back down again from the sky and comes after that little seed. That's a seed right there. It's so tiny, but snow goes all over the place, and little Misty, she didn't even get that one seed, and she's all disappointed. And Carl goes back up to his tree house, and little Misty's all disappointed, and these little nasty scribbles on Misty going back up into her treehouse. So I'm going to show you a couple of moments here when the bird feeder falls over. The bird feeder is an essential component of how our 2 characters meet. It's an iced over bird feeder, and there's no food. It's the dead of winter. We're in the middle of a blizzard, and Misty's in great need of food, which you're going to see in the animated project. And even though Carl is very well set for the winter, he hears the break of that bird feeder, and he's like, hey, wait a minute, there's a bunch of food out there. And this is that little moment when they first kind of meet. Even in this rough animatic, you start to get the idea, obviously it's the, taking the thumbnails a little bit further, but you're starting to get the idea of timing. You're starting to get the idea of Carl's plump, robust nature and how he moves, and Misty's delicate responses and her petite movements. So even in these early sketches, you're going to get an idea of some of those cues. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes series that we're doing for bringing My Neighbor to life, and thank you for coming on this journey with us. And let's make a difference. Let's make some wonderful content. It's a creator's time. So I hope you have a wonderful creative week, and we'll see you soon.